So in today's video, I got you guys with a high kill Rebirth Island win and my updated controller settings for Warzone. For my controller players, I'm going to go over my movement settings, sensitivity settings, dead zone settings, basically everything you guys need to be cracked at Warzone. Before I get any further into the video, I want to shout out these three people for commenting on my last video. If you guys would ever want to shout out in a future video of mine, man, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button and also comment your opinions of the video. So like I said, for today's video, we've got a high kill Rebirth Island win. We dropped 28 kills in today's gameplay, and make sure you guys watch all the way through for my updated controller settings. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the gameplay for y'all, man. Peace. Get off me, bro. Get off me, bro. Give me that. Give me that. Little 27. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's gameplay, man. If you did, make sure you leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And now for my updated Warzone settings, I'm going to start off with my graphics for any of you PC players. So obviously you're going to want your display mode to be full screen. Refresh rate, this is going to be whatever monitor you have. I have 144, so I keep that. Render resolution, we always want 100. Dynamic resolution, I turn this off. Aspect ratio is automatic. Brightness, I have 55.60. This is just kind of random number I came up with, but I keep it around 55 to 60 area. You don't want anything too dark, and you also don't want anything too bright. That's just going to make your game look ugly. Everything else, I believe, is on default. So now on to my quality settings. For FOV, I do run a 120 FOV, which is the max you can have on PC. For my ADS field of view, I have affected. If you're on PC, make sure you have this affected. This helps a lot with visual recoil when you're in gunfights. Camera movement, I have at least. This is how much your camera shakes when you're running and sliding around in Warzone. Obviously, you're going to want this at least to keep your aim as good as possible when you're moving around. For my details and textures, I keep most on low, except for these two. They don't affect your FPS at all. And for my tessellation, I have near. Everything else is on disabled or low. And guys, you can also feel free to pause the video and screenshot any of these settings that you need. For my Filmic Strength, I turn this up to 1. Everything else is disabled. And this is another important setting for PC players. For your cache spot shadows and sun shadows, make sure you guys have both of these enabled. They don't affect your FPS at all, and they make your game look a lot better. So this is going to be everything you guys need for quality. Again, feel free to pause and screenshot anything you need. For any reason you guys would want my audio settings, this is what I have. I run boost high, 40. I turn the music volume to 0. Dialogue volume, I turn that down. This is like the voice that you hear when you're playing Warzone that's making callouts for you. I turn this down just because I like to be able to hear footsteps as loud as possible. Everything else on my audio is just going to be default. Now, before we get into my controller settings, I want to make sure you guys are all following my Twitch. Over at twitch.tv/sway, all of my YouTube videos and all of my Warzone gameplays come directly from my streams. So if you guys would want to go over there and drop a follow and come chill when I go live, I would really appreciate it. So on to my controller settings. For my BR button layout, I play tactical flipped. Now I switched to this recently and it has been the biggest difference in my gameplay. Basically what tactical flip does is it changes your shooting button from the triggers to the bumpers above your triggers. Now this might sound weird to some of you guys, but trust me, once you get used to it, this is a big difference in your game. This is going to get your shot off quicker because the response time of the bumpers is faster than the triggers. If you try this out for yourself, you're going to notice that you're getting first shot off in most of your gunfights. It might take some time to get used to, but trust me, it is worth it. For my stick layout, I play default. My dead zones are both 0.08 with a max of 0.99. My horizontal and vertical sensitivity is 18. I used to play 20, but I took it down a little bit because I was missing a lot of my shots from far away, so now I just rock 18. For my ADS sensitivity multiplier, I play 0.67. Kind of a random number, but it's just the one I've always had and I've always stuck with. Custom sensitivity per zoom, I turn this off because I feel like if you have different sensitivities for every zoom type, it's just going to make you miss, really. There's no point in having this on. For my aim response curve type, I use dynamic because that is just the best response curve type. I think this helps me hit most of my shots and it's the one I'm the most comfortable with. Controller vibration, I turn that off. It is 2022. If you still have controller vibration on, you're a bot. I don't know what to tell you. Turn this off. This does nothing but makes your shot worse. So now for my aim assist, I rock standard. 4-scale aim assist with FOV, you definitely want this on. This is going to make your aim assist and your FOV coincide with each other. You definitely want this on if you're on PC. For the next 3, I believe these are all default. And this is another big setting I recommend you guys change if you don't already have this. For steady aim behavior, make sure you guys use toggle, especially if you're sniping in Rebirth like I do. Instead of having to hold down the thumbstick to steady aim, you just click it in. This is a lot easier than holding it down, especially when you're sniping. Trust me, try this out for yourself. For my use and reload behavior, I have contextual tap, Delete ammo weapon switch I have enabled. Armor plate behavior I have apply all, just so that I don't have to hold down the Y button to put on armor. So next up we have slide behavior. This is another huge setting, especially for movement, man. This is going to make it to where you just have to tap your button to slide instead of hold it down. This is a huge key to being able to slide and move around a lot. This is going to help you guys out a ton in gunfights. Make sure you set this to tap. Now for tactical sprint, I have double tap, but I use automatic tactical sprint. Basically what this does is instead of having to click the thumbstick down to sprint, you just point it forward. This is another huge setting for movement. If you guys put on tap for slide behavior and automatic sprint, you're already going to see a huge difference in your movement. Everything else is going to be default. And like I said, guys, you can rewind the video, screenshot anything you guys need. So that is going to be my updated controller settings for Warzone, man. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video, man. Peace.